Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning! Congratulations to the new mother. Happy Mother's Day! Saka dun sa mga na nagpapa-breastfeed na. Ito yung bagay sa topic nyo ngayon. Ito ang bagay na topic sa inyo. It's a new chapter. Touching your baby. Chapter 4. A new mother. Caring for a newborn baby is a very demanding job. In a traditional extended family, a young mother would have help her care for younger relatives and could rely on a host of experienced mothers to help and give her advice. The typical situation nowadays is very different, and however much you may have read about the theory of baby care, the reality can come as a shock. But this book is primarily about your health. As a new mother, after all, your own health and your baby's are inextricably linked, so your well being in these early days is vital. The healthier you are, the better for your baby. If you are relaxed, your baby is more likely to be too. And the healthier and happier your baby, the less strain there is on you. The shock of the new. From the point of view of the baby, being born is quite a shocking experience. The pressure in the birth canal with the strong contractions squeezing body and head. The emergence from a world of darkness into the brightness of the labor room. The brief pause before the first gaps of air is taken in to fill the lungs for the first time. What a baby needs most now is enveloping warmth and reassurance. In a home birth, this is just what a new baby would be given: a wash, an initial checkup, then wrapping warmly and being placed in the mother's arm. And most hospitals now follow this practice. Rather than removing the baby to a nursery, the argument for separating mother and baby was to allow the mother to rest. And while it is true that you will probably be exhausted, it is not the baby who is going to tire you in the first days, but too many visitors and general overexcitement. Simply cuddling your baby quietly will work wonders for both of you. Forging bands. Banding starts while you are still pregnant, but it is not automatic. Don't feel discouraged or inadequate if your first feeling is not a huge rush of maternal affection. At last, you have your baby in your arms, the moment you have been waiting for 9 months. For many women, there is an instant bond for the first second they hold their child. However, if you were ambivalent about being pregnant in the first place, or had a difficult labor, or if your new baby is not well and has to be kept in an incubator, or even if your nature is just to take things consciously, you may find it takes more time and patience to build up a bond between you. If this is your first child, you may feel out of your depth. Everyone else will seem to be more confident and to know more, even if their advice is conflicting. Without meaning to, busy nursing staff, bossy mothers, and even overbearing partners can make you feel the baby is less yours and slow down the crucial feeling of bonding. Like friendships, true bonds grow stronger as you get to know each other. Cuddle and touch your baby as open as possible. Skin to skin contact brings comfort on both sides, and stroking, hugging, kissing, and breastfeeding are all important to building up a loving relationship. And the more you get to recognize little signs, different cries, and the easier it will be for you to fulfill your baby's needs, and the more contented your baby will be. Massage. All babies who are massaged regularly are healthier for it. Massaging is healing and improves circulation, which means better nourishment for your baby's body and brain. It is also a perfect way to make your child feel loved, pampered, and cared for. Massage also has other advantages. Babies who are massaged regularly develop well, and the milestones that are usually used to measure this development, crawling, sitting, etc., tend to appear slightly earlier than predicted in child care books. Babies have fewer colds and coughs as messaging stimulates their immune system. They also sleep much better during the day and certainly at night. There is no special technique to messaging your baby, but here's how the dice or midwives would go about it in a traditional Indian home. They would begin to massage the baby once it was 5 days old. They would massage the neck, back, arms, and legs with a little oil, tuning up the muscles. In winter, they would use a warming mustard oil diluted with sesame, and during the summer, a lighter coconut oil. After 6 months, they would gently include the head, ears, and jaw. The baby will then be put in the sun for up to half an hour. If you lubricate your hands with a light oil such as baby oil and just gently rub the knead your baby's body all over, it will prove a thoroughly enjoyable and beneficial experience for you both, and you will soon learn what it gets a happy response. The exposure to the sun that the dyes practice allow the skin to synthesize vitamin D, which ensures better absorption of calcium. This is an essential mineral in a growing baby, particularly for bones and muscle movement. So you might like to follow this example. About once a week, a dice will give a baby a short dunk in cold water to shock the system, wrapping the baby up immediately afterwards. This is called tempering and was used in Greek and Roman times as well. This makes the body tougher to cope with sudden chills. Cranial osteopathy. This is a specialized form of osteopathy. Cranial osteopathy. This is a specialized form of osteopathy that has a particular application for young babies. Labor puts tremendous pressure on all parts of the body, especially when the labor is short, under 2 hours, or very long, over 20 hours. A newborn's baby and skull can be quite distorted by the delivery, as the bones of the skull are not joined together, but these soon realign themselves before fusing. By making minute adjustment to these bones, cranial osteopath aims to improve the circulation of the cerebrospinal fluid that batches the brain and nourishes it. Hmm. Nagkuha na siya. Na-disconnect mo. Kung wala, nag-click ni mo insert coin. Tapos, ano PC Monster? Ano yung siya ng kuan? Dili ba ni ang kuan? I-try ka na siya insert pag 5. Mura dili ba yung mo yung PC Master? Wala pa. Lang. Hindi lagi siya mo Sige daw. Pero di siya nagatihog, no? Ah, sige daw. Hindi siya din hinagaan, no? Asa to nga imuhang ka lang sa wifi nimo? GC wifi mo gud ginakolektahan dili man piso wifi. Lahi iyang ginakonektahan. Dinhi ka magpasok ko. Asa man yung GC? Hindi ka sa piso wifi. Dili mo dili na mo. Kani amo Anya na. Ah, sige. Na data or time asa ka dapita ani gusto? Kaning data or sa time? Sa time na lang. Pila mo gihulog at dito? 20. Wala. Mag-add na lang ka sa insert coin. O i-click lang sa tong insert coin. Pa-click ka, pasulod ka ato balik. Ah. Diha sa insert coin gahapon. I-click sa ani. Kani insert coin. Ay lang. Ano siya ni kuan? Ay dili na ni sa kuan na niya ni. Yan na ni menu. Ano naman yan? So, kuanan lang usay, consume na lang usa. Thank you. Breastfeeding. Breastfeeding. Some women take very naturally to breastfeeding. Their baby suckles easily. The milk supply is satisfying and they find the experience of nursing an enjoyable one that helps them bond with their new son or daughter. For other women, things are not so easy. The milk doesn't always flow well to begin with. Cracked and sour nipples or the heaviness of the breast can be painful. There may be too little milk to satisfy a demanding infant. In additional, in addition, breastfeeding on demand, particularly at night, is extremely tiring, and moving to an alternative as soon as possible seems very tempting. Lack of confidence, conflicting advice, and painful or unsuccessful early attempts put a lot of women off breastfeeding, which leads to further anxiety as they feel they are feeling. The persevering becomes an additional pressure among many others. Why is breastfeeding a good idea? Breast milk is the ideal first food for a baby for several reasons. It is easy to digest and absorb. Antibodies in mother's milk help prevent infection before a baby's own immune system has developed fully. Breastfed babies suffer less from a common ailments such as cough, cold, diarrhea, and tummy cramps, provided the mother eats well. Breast milk provides greater protection from allergies. Fewer breastfed children are troubled by allergic reactions such as asthma. Breastfed babies are inclined to sleep better and be more content. It is more hygienic and convenient than mixing formula milk and sterilizing bottles. Once mastered, it is an enjoyable way of bonding for both mother and a child. In many parts of the world, breastfeeding continues for many months, even a year or so. Yet in the UK, fewer than 50% of mothers breastfeed for over 6 weeks. The average is the lowest in Europe. Typical reason for not breastfeeding or giving up early include not getting the hang of it, not producing sufficient milk to satisfy the baby, milk supply drying up, discomfort from neck ache or backache while feeding, painful or cracked nipples, painfully heavy, engorged or saggy breast, worry about losing figure. All these, except the last, are valid complaints, but they are usually avoidable and comparatively few women cannot breastfeed successfully and for at least 6 months. This is not something that necessarily comes naturally, and too often first time mothers are given insufficient advice and come to the conclusion, wrongly, that they are not cut off for breastfeeding. The last reason is actually a misconception. That's all for today. Enjoy sa pag-breastfeed and pagbanding sa inyong baby.